Hello everyone, it's me again. I'm gonna make this video as my day 2 update on the Chthonic Fissure Warlock. And you'll have to forgive me if I sound a bit tired because it is 7 a.m. and I haven't slept yet because I've been really enjoying this game. So I wanted to make this update video and give an update on how the build's doing so far. I have changed around a lot of stuff. In fact, I've changed around the entire layout, and I basically dropped chaos bolts completely. I don't even bother with this. And instead, I choose to have maximum application of spirits, or maximum casting of spirits, which gives the maximum application of damned, which can then be scaled by multi in addition to all the other stuff of Chthonic Fissure. And then because we don't use chaos bolts anymore, there is no longer an auto casting component. So then I just self-cast the Bone Curse, but I don't actually self-cast it. I cast it with transplant using this node, which casts Bone Curse on arrival. And then Bone Curse is basically the same thing, giving Culling Strike and the curse called Marked for Death, which reduces all res by 25. And then as the secondary skill, I'm using Ghostflame, except I realized that it's really important to be able to move while you're casting this, because if you're not moving and, you do a boss like Julra and she puts a degen under you, you're just stuck and it feels really bad. So I found that this node here was basically mandatory for bossing. And it allows you to move and dodge stuff while you're channeling. So you get the defensive bonuses and you get the movement bonus as well, which is really good. And now that we're no longer using Chaos Bolts to self-cast, we no longer have a way to cast Rip Blood or Harvest, really. So I ended up going for Spirit Plague as my last skill. And the way that I built this is basically just for damage. And, as a Warlock playing this build, each additional curse gives more DR and also more damage. So I basically built this curse to apply the maximum amount of damage possible, taking the 75% more damage multiplier node, and then also getting 1 flat spell damage per int. And I try to get my int as high as possible. Then the rest of it is just ward on hit, which is good. And then just increase duration so I don't have to cast it too often. And the reason I ended up dropping the Chaos Bolts thing is I just wasn't able to sustain the mana on hit. I tried speccing maximally into mana on hit. I tried getting Harvest mana on hit on my body armor. And I tried getting as much dexterity as possible to trigger Harvest as much as I could using Chaos Bolts, this node, Reaper of Mayhem. But nothing I did was enough. I just was never able to get enough mana sustain using the Chaos Bolt setup. So in the end, I started to feel like I was losing out on 20% of my damage for no reason. So I dropped it. So I want to run this thing here. I want to do this boss to show you guys how my version of this build performs. This is going to be this is a level 100 empowered monolith. This is the boss of, the hardest difficulty monolith that you could run. And basically any build I think that can kill this pretty quickly is pretty decent and not die as well. So we'll just run this right now, do this boss, and I'll show y'all how the build performs, and then we'll talk about it some more. So my gameplay loop right now with this setup is basically I walk up, I cast, normally I would use transplant to apply Bone Curse, but in this case, I'm going to self-cast it because it lasts for infinite duration, right? And I also get a more damage multiplier. So I walk up, I cast Bone Curse, and then I forget about it. And then I cast Spirit Plague, I drop a Fissure, and then I use Ghostflame to amplify my damage and give me a lot of survivability. And then if I run out of mana, I can cast Transplant, which I have spec'd to give me 30 mana on cast. So that helps me sustain mana. So it's basically use Bone Curse one time, Spirit Plague, Fissure, Ghostflame, and just keep doing that basically. So I'll show you guys what the build performs like on a level 100 empowered monolith boss. So we'll do Bone Curse. I don't know if did it even apply? I don't even know if it applied. Alright, I don't know what's going on. But I can also apply it just by doing this. Okay, and then we do Spirit Plague, and then this, and then this. And as you can see, the damage is fairly decent, right? And then, you know, I just do those like that again. Spirit Plague, Fissure, Ghostflame. And the maneuverability allows me to, you know, dodge everything. And oh shit, I'm out of mana. Transplant, this, this, and this. I'm actually not 100% sure if this is considered good damage or not. Because I don't really have a reference point. I don't really know what's going on. Oh, I think he has an ability to make himself invulnerable from damage. So that's why I'm not doing any damage. Yeah, he's just taking no damage right now. That's because the ability. Not because of my build. It's because of the ability.
This is a mercy.
Like, when I am doing damage, it's pretty good. Yep, and there he goes. And yep, that's basically it. Ooh, what did I get? Did I get the thing that I needed? What a bunch of fucking bullshit. I did not get the thing that I needed. I'm trying to get the percent armor bonus from here, which I am still not getting. So I guess I will just keep what I have because it gives some damage. But yeah, that's basically what I have so far. Let's take these random things. And yeah, that's it. Empowered monolith boss. And yeah, basically that's it. And then obviously, you know, the move. If I take the thing that makes my thing cost less mana, I'm gonna be really slow. So one thing that I also have been doing is taking this off for mapping. So like as soon as I kill a boss, I'll just like respec this node. And then I can put the rest of it into Doom Surge to get more movement speed. Because, you know, the most important thing is movement speed, right? So I just have, you put 2 points here if you're doing monoliths. And then if you're doing like a important boss like Temporal Sanctum, you can put this to reduce the channel cost. You could probably also just not take this, but you may have mana problems. So yeah, that's basically the build. You do this, and then this, and then this, and then this, basically. And I've also changed my idle setup as well. It turns out that because so much of the defense and damage and utility comes from channeling Ghostflame and getting like Decrepify and stuff, I ended up trying to go for 3 of these mana efficiency with Ghostflame things. So as you can see here, my Ghostflame channel cost right now is 12. It would be even more lower if I had taken this, but right now it's 12. And if I remove one of these, like if I remove 12% mana efficiency, then it'll go to like 13. So like basically every one of these is like 1 to 2% less channeling cost, which makes a really big difference. So I've been trying to get my hands on, you know, a setup where I use 4 of these, and I only have 3 because I'm solo account found, but I would ideally have 4 of these. And then the rest is just Necro res to stack the damage of Chthonic Fissure, and then the small ones are just res to help me cap, basically. And if I manage to get enough elemental res, I'll replace it with Necro res for damage. And as well as 522 Necro res. So yeah, that's basically the build right now. And then I have also farmed a couple of blessings. The main good ones I have is the crit multi one, which helps me get a more damage multiplier to everything from Chthonic Fissure. And then I also got Necro res, which is also, you know, a damage multiplier and also defense multiplier for this build. And the rest of my shit's pretty garbage. The one that I'm going for right now, as I mentioned before, is just I want to get flat armor and then like percent armor and then ideally some more ward. So I'm basically just trying to complete monoliths until I get those things. And yeah. And then as for gear upgrades, I have found this +3 Chthonic Fissure to be really good. I got pretty lucky with this one. The reason that levels on Chthonic Fissure is important is that every point gives you like a more damage multiplier. So like I have like 45% torment damage multiplier here. I have 24 multiplier here. And then more spirit frequency is also more damage multiplier because it applies damned, which stacks infinitely. And you can scale the damage of it using multi. And if I had 2 more points, I would probably put it here for additional 10% damage multiplier. So just more damage multipliers is just incredible. So in my experience, getting plus level of Chthonic Fissure is just really good for damage. And then, yeah, one of the upgrades that I actually want to make is I want to get a body armor that has like ideally exalted Chthonic Fissure spirit frequency and level of Chthonic Fissure. That would be like the best possible thing, but it's like super hard to get those mods. I've been playing for like 2 days and I only found like 3 items with Chthonic Fissure level and like 1 item with like spirit frequency. And every time I tried to craft it, I just ran out of forging potential, so I bricked it. But yeah, I actually have 4 shards of this. I got lucky and I like salvaged it and I got 4 shards. But my item is bricked because it has fizz pen with bleed and I can't get rid of it now. So ideally I drop another chest piece that has like one of these mods on it and then I can like upgrade the other one or something. But it's pretty hard for me to upgrade this right now, so it is what it is. And then I did make this random wand here. I think the most important stat in this build is actually just multi, because more multi gives you like a more damage multiplier 1-to-1 on everything. So like Chthonic Fissure and Damned and Torment all deal more damage if you have multi, and 1% multi is 1% more damage. So I try to get multi on my weapon, on my blessing. I try to get multi on my amulet, which I failed, which is really bad, but I also couldn't make one better than this. So ideally this would have multi on it, but that I'm working on it. And ideally I would also have multi on my focus, but I also wasn't able to get this. So I'm actually missing out on a lot of damage because I don't have multi here, which is really cringe, but it is what it is. I also think I could get multi on my relic as well, but my current one rolled kind of nice and it helps me cap all my res and it gives +1 to all skills, which is good. But yeah, ideally we would have multi on this as well. So I guess I have like a lot of stuff to upgrade. But yeah, at this point it's getting like harder and harder to upgrade my shit because my items already are like okay. And I also need to get Bone Clamor Barbute with forging legendary potential. I actually dropped like 3 of these, but not a single one had legendary potential, which is really bad. And then I think if I was able to get a Mad King's Ladle with forging potential, I would try to like create a legendary Mad King's Ladle with multi if I got lucky. But I also haven't dropped a single Mad King's Ladle yet, so kind of a shame. But yeah. And that's basically where I'm at right now on day 2. And my passive tree is basically pretty template. This is just normal stuff. and most of this is normal stuff as well. Not much to say. I guess the only real progress I made here was like just taking multi, taking more spell damage, taking more ward, taking more damage while channeling ghostflame, and then also I guess I took these two, and this gives me global damned chance, which gives me more damned, and then this allows all my damned to have 30% increased duration, and I can apply a lot of damned using Chthonic Fissure. So it's like 30% more multi, so it's pretty good. And that's basically the build so far. Yep. Long story short, perma bone curse, and then spirit plague, Chthonic Fissure, and then ghostflame for damage and survivability. Run out of mana, use transplant. And that's basically it. And then if you're doing monoliths, I recommend taking Doom Surge and not taking Harrowing Path. And if you're doing a really difficult boss like the Temporal Sanctum boss, I recommend taking 2 points out of Doom Surge and putting them into Harrowing Path. And that way you can reduce your channel cost, which means more uptime, which means you have a greater chance to not die. So, yeah. That's the build. This is the thing. This is a setup that worked the most well for me personally. And I guess you know, again, I'm still trying to figure things out, and I'm also pretty new to this game. So if you know anything that'll like improve the build even more that I'm like not realizing, feel free to let me know. You know, totally open to suggestions and whatever. So, yeah. And then I guess to end the video, I'm going to try to level this up 2 more times so I can show you guys what it looks like in mapping with like the full movement speed version. So let me see if I can just do that really quickly. Yeah, let me just try to like get 1 level or like 2 levels, I guess. Because the mapping gameplay is like a little bit different from the single target gameplay. In mapping, I basically never cast Bone Curse. I never cast Spirit Plague. I basically only do Chthonic Fissure. Well, it is kind of weird, but let me just like level up my thing and then I'll show you guys. I'll talk about what it is like. Alright, there's a lot of shit on the ground. I should probably fix my loot filter. Okay, alright, well, let me get 1 more level. So basically in mapping, I essentially just use Fissure, and then I use Ghostflame to move around really fast. And sometimes it feels like Ghostflame is the main skill, because I just use it, you know, all the time. Oh, the boss died and I didn't even realize he spawned. But yeah, so my main gameplay loop is actually like just use Ghostflame. And as you can see, it moves really fast if you have like maximum Doom Surge. So it feels like I'm just like using Ghostflame as my main skill. And then when I run out of mana, I just use Transplant to get my mana back. And then I just keep going. And if there's like a large amount of enemies on the screen, I'll drop a Fissure. And then I'll just keep Ghostflaming. And then I run out of mana, I keep doing this, and then I drop a Fissure if there's a lot of enemies, and I just keep Ghostflaming. And that's basically it. Run out of mana, use Transplant. And you don't even need to use Bone Curse, you don't even need to use Spirit Plague. It's just like totally smooth. I wonder if I can actually do Shade of Orobus without the channeling cost setup. Kind of curious. I mean, this is like not supposed to be that hard of a boss, but I'm very curious. So like, you can actually transplant on top of the boss to apply the bone curse as well, so you don't have to aim it. Like if I just do this, then he has... Did it work? I have no idea if it actually worked or not. Oh yeah, it's there. It's the green icon. Ah, that's right. I converted it to Necro, so now I don't recognize it anymore. But yeah, it does apply these things. So yeah. And also, it's kind of interesting to note that if you make the bone curse have unlimited duration, the marked for death also has unlimited duration. So as you can see, that shit is just like staying there forever. And it's like permanently on, marked for death. Perma marked for death, perma bone curse. And then I can just do like Spirit Plague. I can just do Spirit Plague, and then this, and then ghostflame. And then Spirit Flame, and then this, and then ghostflame. And then transplant to get my mana back. And then he's dead. So I guess you can basically do all content in monoliths using the movement speed setup. I guess the only time I would maybe take the channeling cost minus setup would be specifically for the Temporal Sanctum boss, because I've had some trouble with that boss, but I'm pretty sure everything else you can just do with the movement speed setup. So yeah, that's basically what it is. All right, let me show you guys one more monolith. This is gonna be the last one. This game is like super addicting. I never thought I would like get into this game this much, but it's been really interesting, like learning all the mechanics and stuff. So yeah, I basically just ghostflame until I'm out of mana, transplant, and then fissure, and then more ghostflame. Out of mana, transplant, fissure, and then ghostflame. Out of mana, transplant, fissure, ghostflame. Oh, my fissure is down. Yep. And that's basically what it is. Hey look, I got another skill point. I will put it in dodge. Great. Alright, I just want to make this day 2 update. I'm not sure if I can improve this build like much more. Of course, I'll try to like upgrade my body armor. I'll try to like upgrade my helmet. I'm definitely going to try to take this character to 100. And yeah, I would like to upgrade my gear before I hit 100, obviously. But I feel like at the rate this is going, I may hit 100 before I'm able to upgrade my gear, which is crazy to me. It's just really hard to like get the right base. I feel like bases in this game drop like so infrequently. Like I have them turned on in my loot filter, like good bases with like at least one good mod, but it's like really hard to get anything. But yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's my update video. Let me know if you have any comments or anything. Goodbye.